Leslie, you had this already in play, the content creation in play. So how
Mm-hmm.
did you set up a strategy or a plan to be like, okay, well, did you even do that when it came time for you to leave corporate America? Did you say, okay, this is just temporary, this job, this is just temporary until, you know what I'm saying, your girl get her duckies in a row, and then I'm gonna start doing full-time content creation? Or were you just doing it on a consecutive basis and we're like, okay, I think I'm ready to take the training wheels off and go full-time?
Girl, I got 8 years of content creating and building my experience, and I still never felt secure enough to take that leap. Because stability, safety, and security are like my top three values, right? Like
Yeah.
I have to consult those things before I make a decision and make a move.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was getting out the army, I didn't. The transition pulled me back from creating. If you looked at my content from 2021 ish at the end to like almost full year 2022, I wasn't creating. Like I wasn't pushing out content like I am now because the transition was scaring me. Like I didn't know if I was really going to be able to get a job. I'd been applying to jobs. I hadn't heard back from anybody. So I was June, June time frame is when I had started my MEB December of 2021. So June of 2022 is when I was figuring out if I was getting out, like, or not getting out. June of 2022 was when I did the hiring conference and I was starting to get job offers. September of 2023 or 2022 was my out. So can you imagine from December to June not knowing like what was I gonna do? Like, so I will say
Girl,
this.
imagine I lived it and I was pregnant.
Baby, that is insane.
Sick,
More power
sick,
to you. No.
sick.
Ooh,
No
I could
plan,
not imagine. Oh,
no degree. Jesus, just faith. But it got me through.
amen.
We here. Hey, six-figure
God,
baby.
look at you now, girl. God is good. Cause that is, whew, yeah, no, I definitely couldn't imagine being in that position, but praise him, Lord.
But it's
Um,
crazy because even though you weren't exactly in that position, we were in the same position. You go through this period. It's like everybody goes through this period right before we get out. And this is not even for somebody I've had retired, like, okay, I'm doing my 20 years and I know this date is coming, and they go through this period where it's just like, I don't know what is about to happen.
institutionalization, if that's a word. The institution that we're in, like, will literally have us thinking that we can't do anything
You're
outside.
gonna fail if you get out
You're
of if
going
you
to
leave
fail.
me. Nobody's gonna love you like I love you.
Yeah, no,
It's an abusive relationship.
my leadership was like, yeah, you're not gonna make, you're not gonna make, not make money, but basically saying like my content or like, he was like, what am I gonna do? And I couldn't tell him, right? Like, I don't know. But
Not be
I
here.
know that I did know that there's money to be made out there and more money than what the army or the military would pay me to do similar things. So I
Yeah,
knew that I just had to secure the job.
yeah.
So it was that kind of communication that can really like deter you and be like, oh, I can't do this. I can't be anything outside of a soldier, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, so being in that position and not knowing, um, I had plans, right? Like I had educational benefits. So I was like, if I don't do anything else, I'm gonna
I'm gonna go to
pursue.
school.
Girl, I said I didn't have enough time to go to didn't have enough time to like apply to these school I wanted to. So I was like, cosmetology school it is, right? We gonna try to figure out how I can make this happen on the content side. You know what I'm saying? Like we gonna be educated in some way. We gonna get that extra money, right?
Yes.
So I had backup plans, but would I say there was a full blown like if this doesn't happen, then this will happen? And yes, but out of my control. Like none of it was in my control. Like I'm literally, like I said, applying for stuff in January, and I'm not hearing from people. Um, I think I heard from one person in April, and then the same time I was doing the conference, two people reached out then, but I didn't get any of those. Right, like none of those
The
even amounted to
inconsistency
anything.
of it and
It's horrible.
the false hope. And
They don't even
then on
tell you anything. Like, hey, we're
no,
not considering you for this opportunity. It's just like,
girl,
did you
just
get the
ghost me.
resume? Yeah, no, like I'm just like, did you get it? I mean, you could at least say receive, like some,
Some,
They don't say
some.
nothing. Like it is very much like tax, and that's why I definitely recommend continuing to seek, therapy, lean on your support systems when you're going through this transition, because those things can be very deterring and like
Yeah,
just they can eat at you for sure.
very quickly. One
Hmm.
thing I love, 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 love about your story is that you are so transparent being a content creator. How hard was it to maintain a 9 to 5 while still showing up consistently in the content creating space? Like,
Girl, don't get me wrong. There has been inconsistent phases. Of those 8 years, I'd say two of them, I fell off. Like I was still relevant, but definitely, I could definitely feel like my audience was like finding other resources, right? Like okay, girl, you're not giving anymore. It's time to go find someone else who's giving, right? So,
right.
um, I definitely would say that it's it's taxing if you don't have a good content strategy. And I wouldn't even say throughout my career that I had a fail safe, like a bulletproof plan that helped me to get there. Because as you know, like being in the military, there's always something. Like
Yeah.
something is always going to just like, oh yeah, you're going to the field. Oh yeah, well I plan to record content. So now I have to figure out how I'm gonna, So
Right.
it's always going to be something that prevents you from going and doing your plan or like what you plan. But if I hindsight being 2020, um, I executed right, but it was tough, right? It was tough because I wasn't maximizing my time as
Yeah.
much as I could in producing a lot of content at once.
Yes.
So I was just using a lot of my free time to like make it happen. No regrets at all, because again, this is something I absolutely love to do. But if I could have done it differently, I would have had a content strategy. Like, okay, girl, what are you focusing on this month? Or what are you gonna talk about? Let's write this out. Let's figure out how to make it happen in a shorter period of time so that I can have more of my own time,
Yeah.
more of my
So you don't
own,
experience
especially
burnout.
yes. I mean, and it's happened. Sometimes like you said, like we don't even know if we're in these states, but it be happening. Like, and then when we come out of it, it's like, dang, we was there for like a little bit, and
Yeah.
like what was going on? But yeah, so definitely recommend those of us who are creating, like who love creating and who are still pursuing their 9 to 5 journey, to have a strategy so that you can have a better work and life harmony.
Yes.
um and that you can still be consistent and also communicate what you're doing. Like, hey y'all, like I work full time. You're gonna get this content twice a week on here, and twice a week on other platforms, so your audience knows what to expect from you. And
Yes.
they're not feeling like you've just fallen off the face of the earth. And even when you want to go on those breaks, right, people do it all the time. You want to go on those breaks and just, it's okay to communicate that and be transparent and vulnerable with your audience about it. Because what they don't know, they don't know. And I
Yeah.
feel like people are more receptive to information, or at least they can do what they want to do with it, right? Like I always say that, don't exclude me, right? Keep me in the loop and I can figure
Right.
out what I want to do. You know what I'm saying? Like with whatever
Exactly.
you provided. So yeah.
Also, with how transparent you are with your content, how do you figure out it, do you struggle with privacy? Because a lifestyle creator is you're exposing your life to
Yeah.
your audience. So is
Mhm.
it certain things you're like, okay, this is just for me and my green bubble close friends, you know, or how do you kind of keep that balance?
So I just, how I tend to balance that is asking myself, what am I open to being ridiculed?
That's a great answer.
And I say that because there are times where, sure, I need that feedback, right? Good or bad, from whoever, and I know, okay, let me share this. And then the other times, there's personal things within my life that I'm not willing to let other people, even supporters, like global supporters, infuse their opinions on me about, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
I have opinions that I value heavily, and those are the people that I'm sharing those very, very intimate, private moments with. But there are transparent moments, like ones we have on here, saying like, I'm scared, all of this, bothered me, or I feel really good about my next steps. Like, I can say that those things because I feel like I'm okay with, and I feel like I don't want people to feel like they're the only people out there who have these feelings, right? So
Yeah.
it's more of me just trying to, mm, also communicate that we're not alone in these moments. Like, in like you said, we may not have had the exact same experience, but we were in the same place, right?
Yeah.
Like, and that's where I want to be, that person, right? Those vulnerable insights. But like you said, with the privacy, it's just that question mainly is like, am I open for everything? And if I am, cool. And I don't mean I'm gonna be fine with it. You might get a little tussle
Right.
from me, I'm saying, a little ooh, ooh, ah, ah, if you want to pop off from whatever I got to share. But that's
We
okay,
keep
because I
games, we keep cordial. How you want to go about it?
that's what I'm saying. Like, and I have, like, I don't have, I mean, 90, I would say like 90% of my comments and engagement is pretty positive. But you have those trolls and the 10% that just are going to play devil's advocate or want to go against whatever it is you're saying. And
Yes.
sometimes I give a little ooh, ooh, ah, but other times I let them marinate, because 9 times out of 10, those positive people, the people that get it, will always come through and be like, yeah, goodbye. Like, they shut it
Yeah.
down. And that's what I love about my community, is that we're loyal. So
Yes.
whoever's down with me, whoever's commenting, whoever is in the mix, like, y'all my people. And that's what it
Yes.
is. And I love that, because that's a community that I don't even have to meet. Like, we don't even have to, like, physically be, but y'all, we get each other. And
Yes.
I love that, So
Yes.
yeah, I feel like transparency and vulnerability is what's going to foster that and continue to make that trustworthy kind of bond
Yes.
that I have with my audience, and vice versa. So yeah.
So, in honor of Mental Health Awareness Month, as a content creator, because you are in a profession where you're putting yourself in a position to be ridiculed, right? And it's amazing that you have that your community is positive, and they're like, this is not the space for that. But how do you keep your mental health healthy?
God, girl,
Oh, I
I
love
had,
that. Yes,
ooh,
ma'am.
baby, I
Talk
had
about it.
leaned on my support so much, like I mentioned in, what my brand stands for is like support always. And that's leaning in on anything and everything God has in store for me, and making it to heaven. Period.
I know that's right.
And also the support around me. Like, I moved to Charlotte. I came here because my support network was around me. And I had the autonomy to pick, right? Like, where I wanted to
Mm-hmm.
stay. And I was like, I want to be next to people who vibe with me, who I could see physically and be around. So I think that the people in my life, God, and also the intentional time I take with myself, like writing in my journal, spending my alone time, doing things that I like to do, which I love to watch movies and watch TV, girl, and just disconnect. So
Yes.
those things are what I'm doing currently, to help make sure that I'm staying on track and that I don't let this crazy world impede on who I am, right? But one other thing I want to add back is going to therapy. I had stopped
Yes.
therapy last year, because my counselor, she she transitioned from the organization that she was currently working at that took my insurance, and she went somewhere else and take my insurance. And I was like, I don't know if I want to pay that much. Like,
Because it's high per session is high out of
it's high,
pocket.
girl. Like the copay was, I was like, okay, it's like twice a month. I could, I can do that for
Yeah.
sure. But like doing that twice a month for the full amount is a little pricey, So
Yeah.
I still have to figure out like, but I really, really liked her. So I still have to figure out like if I'm wanting to go down this path to find a new person um who I like, or if I want to chalk up the money and
Listen, I totally feel you. I had a therapist. I just had a therapist. Sis, if you listen to this, I miss you. It ain't even been a week
I
and I
miss you
miss
too.
you.
So tell my therapist too. I miss you too.
Leslie misses you. Girl, she made a decision to leave the company that she's at. And another gem drop for my veterans. If you are service connected and you have a mental health service connection, go to the VA and request individual counseling. I
Mm.
was able to request individual counseling through the VA, and my therapy was 100% free.
How often do you get to see her or
Baby,
him?
every week,
That's insane. Yeah, no, I got to go. Yeah, that's a
every
good.
single week. And she was amazing. She introduced me to a therapy. It's a trauma based therapy called EMDR.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, eye move like rapid eye movement something, but I have not experienced that much growth, and I've been in therapy since 2018,
Yes.
on and off.
Mm-hmm.
And oh my gosh, when she told me at the end of my session, like, Jalen, I'm gonna have to leave, I'm leaving, I put in my 30-day notice, I was like, wait a minute, what are you talking about?
I've
Sick.
had that same experience twice because I had one that I found when I was in the military, and that's tough. So I found one when I was in and one when I was out, and they both
It
left the
feel like a
company.
breakup.
It's so bad, man. But my current counselor or therapist, she'd be proud of me because this was something we brought up in our sessions, was like me taking off being a content creator full time. And she just asked, one of the questions she asked me was like, you need to write down like, what's the worst that could happen if you fail? And I was like, well, I gotta go, get another job, like nothing was catastrophic or life ending. And I just felt like I felt comfortable, where I was, and
Yeah.
or scared to like not be able to kind of live the same comfort or lifestyle that I currently have. But when you think about all that you save, when I talk about convenience, and I'm thinking about saving Tim or team, TEM, time, energy, or money, baby,
Yes.
we definitely are saving in time, right? Like if I
Yeah.
done with this 9 to 5, I can spend more time on my own grind, which will result in more money than I was
Yeah.
making. So I'm just like, I can see where the effort put here can translate here. And I was so like I said, I think she'd be proud of me. I need to message her and let her, because I still have her. She's has a personal a professional number that is, I guess, universal to all her clients that she worked with. So it didn't change when she left the organization.
Left.
So I definitely should message her and let her know that. But she definitely would be proud. And I'm just like, such a proud, happy moment.
Yes. And the crazy thing about the worst thing the worst thing that can happen, it's the least likely thing to happen.
Oh my gosh, it definitely is. It
It's the
so is
least
though.
likely thing to happen, but it's the thing that keeps us up. Like, oh Lord, what if I have to go out and sell drugs because I ain't got no money? Girl, that's not gonna happen. Girl, what are you talking about? Come on now, sis,
No,
get it together.
seriously, no,
Stand
but
up.
that is weak in the knees, girl. You weak in the knees.
Stand up. That's not gonna happen.
No, but I agree. I agree. Like, I just don't feel. I don't feel like in my heart of hearts that I'm going back. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
there may be an opportunity where I can build my skills part time, but doing marketing or something that I actually like to do.
Like,
Yeah, like I could do that, and I really could start at the bottom, knowing that I have this business of my own that I'm still cultivating.
yeah.
But that was a scare for me getting out. Was like I didn't want to start I did 9 years as a chemo, as an HR, like a trainer, operations, like all of
Yeah.
that for 9 years, and you expect me to get out and start at entry level. So that was
No.
also like I was like, you tripping. I mean, I definitely want to do it. I want
And as an officer, you didn't do that as an enlit. You did that as an officer. Like, come on, be
yeah,
for real.
no,
If you're gonna be anything in this world,
that was just not, yeah, you are exactly right. Like, I was like, I'm just not about to do that. But I did say, I would say that I had an initial plan. Like you said, I think one of the questions, I don't know if I answered it fully, was like, um, did I have a plan to leave corporate America? And I don't know if I had one initially, but I did gain more time to invest in my content than I had when I was in the military. More
yeah,
consistent time.
yeah.
And I found myself while I was like during the day, like wanting to do content, like wanting to be immersed in this space that I couldn't fully be in because I had to transition my mind from project management, corporate America training from 8 to 4, and then get home and completely shift, going to a different part of my mind, to the
Welcome to
creative.
my YouTube channel.
You,
You should.
it's your girl Leslie Latrice back at you again. So it's like it was very taxing on the mind, and I'm
Yeah,
like,
because it's almost like you're living a double life.
and you're not giving. I'm definitely a person that wants to give like my 100%, especially to the things that I love and care about. When I was recognizing that also my time wasn't being valued as much as I would have wanted at my current job, I was like, I really could be spending this time doing the thing I love to do, right? Like, so that was a trigger, but it wasn't time. Like, my mind, I was like, I'm gonna set myself up, be good by the end of the year, and then at that time I reassess and see if it's the time to
If
quit.
it's time.
But God had other plans. I prayed about that thing so bad, and I have no regrets. He was like, "It's time to go." I said, "All right." So it happened earlier, but I was already posturing myself. Like, I was saving my emergency fund. I was
Right.
making sure that I had things in place. I saved that emergency fund faster than I anticipated. I was like, I needed to be by June. I had it by February. So things
Baby,
were
because when you
just,
got a plan, when there's a wheel,
there's a way, baby. And it was just more reassurance, more confirmation that this was the time. It was
yeah,
not my time, but the time God said,
let's
you
go.
got to get up out of here.
Get
Yeah.
your purse, put
So,
your shoes on. Y'all put your shoes on.
period. And so I had to do that. It was very tough, though. I'm not even going to sugarcoat that thing. Like, it was hard. Crying, tears. Like, I was like, I just, but when we trust Big G, it worked out. And I haven't cried since.
I
So
know
here
that's
I am.
right. Leslie, why was it important for you to, Jay-Z has this quote where it's like, I'm not a businessman, I'm a businessman.
Hmm.
Why was it important for you to brand Leslie Latrice instead of having like an alias? Because people have aliases like the boss chick something or the six
Yeah.
figure vet. Why was it important for you to say, no, baby, I am the brand.
Period.
This
Yes.
is me.
That is such a good question. And I think that for so long, I was feeling like what I was doing was who I was. Like, or almost majority of that. So like when I was about to get out of the military, I had a huge identity crisis. Like I was like, what am I good at? What am I gonna do?
Right.
Like that's actually going to be worth people's money. Like, it was a lot of things that I was battling with mentally. But when I got to the root of it, I had to think about like me. Like I didn't come into creating content or into this world or doing anything outside of being Leslie Latrice. Like when people think about me, they associate it with my name, they associate it with my
Yeah.
values. And
Mhm.
I wanted to be the most passionate about what I wanted to do next. And I love myself, baby, and I'm
I
very
know that's
passionate
right.
about
Love you
me. So
down.
the period. So, and I'm learning to love a lot more of me every single day. But
Yes.
I did feel like having a name or persona would box me in.
Yeah.
And I felt like I was too big for that. Not that I'm like big, but I felt like what I'm doing, my diversity, my experience,
Yeah.
like who was a human resources officer,
Right.
content creating, lifestyles, been a project manager, like a
Right.
multi hyphenated person doing a lot of
Right.
different things. Being the boss chick wasn't enough. Being whatever, it just wasn't enough. It wasn't encapsulating everything that I am and everything I've been through. But me being me, like that's enough. That's enough for you, Leslie Latrice, and all she is, and that's what it is. So yeah, I felt like that. I mean, I never thought about it fully until you asked the question, but I think that that's really, one of the main reasons why I couldn't do that or why I just didn't feel gravitated towards doing something like that.
I love that because it sounds like you just stayed true to yourself
Mm-hmm.
and it gives you room to grow.
For sure.
I feel
Girl.
like sometimes with these personas, it's like almost a false narrative sometimes.
Yeah.
But with your name, it's like, hey, this is who I am right now. And then when I evolve, that's going to be who I am. But every day,
Period.
this is me.
That's
And
it.
it's just unlimited growth.
Girl, and that's the rebrand because I'm doing the rebrand now, and I call it LL 3.0 because there was a point in time, like 2020, where I did like a 2.0 version, like
Mhm.
trying to elevate a little bit more now that I'm more experienced in the um creator space, and then also just learning so much more about myself since 2016. It's
Right.
like, do I need to, do a 2.0 5 years later? uh we got to do something again because
Oh my
now,
God, back at it again.
you know what I'm saying, like your girl's elevated, and this was actually the first time, the 3.0 version was the first time like I really took the time to specifically curate the brand, like hiring a designer, like a rebrand specialist, like somebody that's going to help me to design my messaging, design my website, like really put myself out there for Leslie Latrice today. And that's almost timeless unless I'm changing, my priorities change and my values change over the years. But outside of that, like this is your girl. This is what I love to do. This is my personality. And as a transition expert or someone who is making big moves, and navigating those things, not the best way, right? In my way. And
But
I
with
can only,
grace.
yeah, I can only give you what I've been through. And I promise you,
Yeah.
no one's gone through change and been like, it was great. I did great and nothing happened. And there was no mistakes. Like, no, there's always going to be something that you can learn from through each phase or through each change or transition. So yeah, being able to do that and cultivate those experiences have helped me to really evolve into who I am today and ultimately what Leslie Latrice, the brand, is. So yeah.
Leslie, what is a convenience coach? And
So,
how can it add value to somebody's life?
so I've always been a girl that, and I guess it's kind of opposite because I went in the military, but I've always been one that doesn't want to like live a hard life if I don't have to, right? Like, and when I talk about saving, I think convenience, like what is going to make my life easier, right? And so, um, I believe like a convenience coach is one that provides you insight on how whatever it is I'm using or doing can facilitate you in making whatever you're doing easier or seamless or efficient. And so that is what I'm providing through my different things that I like to do, like my lifestyle content, my homemaking content. Like if that's hiring an organizer, that's convenient, right? But it's gonna cost me some money, but it's gonna save me some time, right? So it's
And
like
stress.
this is period. That let's not forget our mental, right? And so that's where that effort comes in, like whether we expect doing something physically exerting energy or mentally exerting energy that we don't want to or don't need to. Like that's where I come in as your go-to expert in that, because I'm always going to look for that. Like I'm always going to look for something that's going to, like you said, kind of remove that stress, make things just a little bit more efficient for me so that I can spend time or money or energy on the things that I really want to put into that. So, yeah.
Exactly. I always say that a luxurious life for me doesn't look like Chanel and Von Cleef bracelets. It looks like hiring somebody to come take my baby to school.
Clean the house.
Clean the
That bathroom,
house.
baby, they can
Them
have.
dishes. That
They
trash.
the garage, baby, need
The
clean.
garage.
Ooh,
Pressure washing? Who's gonna do that?
not grass,
Grass?
girl.
Okay, I'm my life is going to be spent. I don't want to clean. I really don't want to cook, honestly, unless I'm really in the mood, but I like to eat every day. And every day I want to eat out. So I might need a chef. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be a DIY girly. I'm sorry. I enjoy some tasks, but that's not who I'm meant to be.
I'm not
Okay?
meant. That's not the life for me. I love me some Raven Elise because that girl be doing it. But
Yeah,
I
she is.
just
Yeah, she do her big one.
yeah,
But
she
that's
do. And I watch like I love to see you do it, right?
yeah, but I'm not making no champagne walls.
Or no big flowers. Like I
No
love that
wreaths,
for her.
nothing.
Yeah, love
Yes.
that for her, and I love it. And I'm sure she saves money, right? So there's parts of that where doing it
It's
yourself could
perks.
could be
But
very
defining what
beneficial.
luxury looks like for you. And for me, when I saw that you were a convenience coach, I said, "Oh, she's speaking my language because I am the queen of convenience. I will pay the extra $40.
That's what I'm saying. Convenience for your coins, honey. Okay, I will
I'll pay
drop
it.
the coins for convenience. That is 1,000% the mantra, baby. Like if you giving me good service, excellent service, quality product or whatever,
Yes,
I will give you the money. Like, but you can have it every time I come, and with a little
yes,
tip too.
yes.
So it's like that. I'm definitely an advocate for that, and that's why these experiences that I share, and my main goal is to communicate, like encountering life's best experiences, is surrounded behind that, right? Like you should be going to a restaurant and getting quality service and good food that's fresh for the amount of money you paying. But if you paying $5, then you're gonna get your $5 worth of food and service. So it's a little
Expect
bit of
that pew
like
code to be low.
expectation management. That's all I'm saying. Expectation management. We just gotta know what
I
we get.
like that.
Yeah. We just gotta know what we get. Oh, it's okay. I paid $5 for that. I could expect that the chicken wasn't gonna be the full breast, $5.
Yo, I was lit. Okay, so when I went and got this MacBook yesterday, right, y'all, I did not want to. I did not want to do that. I did not want to
Mm-hmm.
do that. But you know what I'm saying. Your girl is in her podcast era.
Uh-huh.
Visuals
A little
come
bit.
through. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, my last. I need better quality. So I go and I'm like, I'm gonna get the cheapest MacBook that they got. I'm gonna
They
get the
be trying to.
cheapest one they got because
Apple
this
Apple know what they doing.
So I get there and I'm like, what does M1 to M3 mean? He like, at M1 you gonna look like you in a Pixar movie. He was like, with the M3, it's gonna be clear. You're gonna have it, and you get what you pay for. And he said, you get what you pay for. And I bit the bullet, and I got the newest Air
Yeah,
out. And
yeah.
this has been the most amazing interview because I didn't take the cheap way out.
See, and is this what you're on? You're on your Air now.
Yes, girl, you see
Period.
how clear I
It
am,
looks
honey?
very. It's giving very much clear, honey.
It's giving
Okay.
very much in person.
No, it's the vibes, the vibes. No, but that's a great example. I haven't bought like Apple products that large in since like 2017. Because girl, when I was on that deployment to Poland, my current MacBook broke, and they was like trying to charge me an arm and a leg just to fix the screen. So I was just like, well, I guess it's time to buy a new one because that one was about 5 years old anyway.
Okay.
So I haven't bought new big purchases because that money breeds longevity in these, in these
Yeah.
this equipment. So that's why I've always been willing to kind of um spend the extra dollar, especially on technology, because
Especially on technology.
yeah, they're always doing software updates. The hardware, is not changing so much every year. Maybe every 5, 7 years, I might, do a refresh on the tech, but I could spend the money now versus buying multiple cheaper things once a
And then
year
it
or
ended up to be even more expensive.
exactly. And you can't put a price on those things. So yeah, definitely there are things for sure that like tech that I'll definitely
Yeah.
drop the
Don't
coin for.
backdoor. Do not backdoor.
Yes, for
So
sure.
give us a 6-figure vet exclusive. What can we see from Miss Leslie Latrice in the near future? We excited. Give us some. A little
Okay.
tea.
Okay, girl. Well, you definitely can still expect the influencer vibes, really tapping into the lifestyle, beauty, and self care, but all surrounded by convenience, service, and support, right? Those are the main three things I'll touch on each different niche as an influencer. On the creative side, I'm tapping into content strategy, social media management. Your girl is trying to help brands and individuals with their personal branding, like with their photo shoots, curating some really hands off, right? Convenient photo shoot experiences when you're trying to capture your essence as an individual or as a brand. So that's on the creative side. And then on the speaker side, your girl is
Not a house,
your
girlie.
girl is trying to get in her house bag. You feel me? I'm trying to be on your vibe. You know what I'm saying? So I'm definitely trying to get in my host and speaker vibe. So attending more conferences, being a part of panels, because again, I have a lot of experience, a lot of lessons to share. And I don't think I've talked enough long form about my experiences. Like you get bits and pieces, and they're still very transparent, very vulnerable. But I want to help bridge the gap. Like let me put it all together for you so you can really understand like some of the life things that I've gone through, how I've made it through a lot of these transitions and changes, and just where I'm at and where I hope to go in the future and what I believe the future holds and God. So yeah, I'm getting into the speaker vibe where I can talk more about my experiences, and the ups and downs as well. So yeah, that's a little bit of that. And girl, the hopes
Love
is
it.
that I bank 6 figures this year. And
Oh,
she
it's happening. It's already
manifest
done.
it,
It's
manifest it.
already it's already
It's
done.
written. It's written.
It is. It is. And we are rooting for you. You have such a beautiful story and your transparency. I can just see you blowing all the way up in the content creation world because you are so transparent and you have such a welcoming spirit. So, girl, it ain't nothing but thing, baby. We just waiting on time. We already there. We just waiting for it to manifest in this realm.
That's what I'm saying, girl. When my time is my time, I'm gonna be right there ready.
Yeah.
Smiling. Thank you so much for that. Appreciate it.
Of course, tell the people where they can reach you at.
Okay, yeah. So you can pretty much find me anywhere on most and all social media platforms at Leslie Latrice. That's LeslielAtrice. Yeah, and I am doing my rebrand, so y'all get the exclusive here. Okay, the landing page has just dropped. You can sign up for the newsletter where you can get all the exclusive insights on everything Leslie Latrice and all that I have going on in the creative influencer and speaker spaces.
Amazing. So again, Leslie, it has been so great talking with you. Thank you for coming and sharing your story with us. We look forward to hearing more of your story on more platforms from you and from other creators. I appreciate you for coming through. And of course, y'all, this has been another episode of the Six Figure Vet. Six Figure
Thanks,
Vet is
Jalen.
out. You're welcome.